Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We're bellied up to the bar. Our guest is getting all of his equipment ready. He's a musical mastermind. He works at what I just learned about recording at 432 hertz. He records his music at that level. This is what Bach, Beethoven, Mozart. So I'm going to say he's a modern day Mozart, as badass as Bach. Let's see, Beethoven, he could hold a beat with. As soon as he's got all of his stuff together, we're going to have coming up, bellying up to the bar with us tonight, Mr. Scott Howard. So as soon as Scott's got all of his equipment all set up, we were working on some things before the show, a little bit of technical difficulties. But while we're waiting for that to come up here in just a moment, let's go ahead and play a little bit of Scott's music, a little clip from, this was a song that Scott wrote for his son, a while back, where he played this for his son. His son, Scott can tell us the story, had tragically passed away. But I'll tell you, I listened to this song yesterday with my wife, shared it with a few friends of mine, and as a dad, this one struck a straight chord with me. I just really felt it. So this song is called, by Scott Howard, it's called Through Your Eyes.
Now, my son, come walk with me and look at life through my eyes. Things go fast, time won't last, it's part of the cherished demise. I'm the one who looks at you with romance in her eyes.
So like I said, that was just a quick clip of Scott. I'm doing good. Nate's joining us as he does every night. Make sure you're checking out Nate. He's going to be on Paraflix, I believe, here soon. He'll get us some more information. We're actually going to have Nate fully on the show, a whole episode with him and the folks from Paranormal Funhouse, which is another group out of the Maryland area that goes around and does paranormal investigations. Whenever we have the paranormal folks on, you guys know what ends up happening to us. The show falls apart instantaneously. The ghosts start coming after us. Everything else, all of our technology falls apart. So let's hope that on that particular day, these things don't happen to us. So fingers will be crossed for that one. Let's see here. Yeah, Paranormal Funhouse. Their GM is actually Patty, who we've had Patty on here a few times, Patty Negri. So Patty is amazing. So we'll have those guys on here soon, but we'll do some of our house cleaning while Scott Howard, our guest tonight, getting some things together. He's going to be playing live for us off of his new album. I can't wait to hear that. So he'll be playing some songs for us off of his new album. So we'll get a chance to listen to that stuff. But let's go ahead and get some house cleaning done here. Our Ravens lost first week of the playoffs. That's a whole nother conversation we can kind of discuss. Should they or shouldn't they sign Lamar? I have mixed feelings, but nonetheless, we got the big board behind me for Sticker and a Cause. Sticker and a Cause. If you've got something you're supporting, maybe you have your own band, you have your own thing you're doing, something you believe in or support, all you got to do is reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. I don't care what the form of media is. Go ahead and reach out to us. Let me know what it is. Even our emails, the above the bar podcast at gmail.com. Let me know what it is that you've got going on. And we'll go ahead and I'll give you the address. You send me a sticker. I'll read about what you have live on the air so that everybody can hear it. Hear about you, hear about what you got going on. Did we ever, Nate just threw us did we ever get Marquise set up? I have to look and see when we got Marquise all scheduled. Marquise Ogden, former Baltimore Raven. Looking forward to talking football with him. We got to get that all set up. I don't remember if we got that set up or not, Nate. So make sure you reach out to us, Sticker and a Cause. Maybe you're having technical difficulty with your media and you're looking for somebody to help you out and support your media. Well, make sure you reach out to Media by Dibs. It's Media by Dibs, Dibs. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on LinkedIn at Media by Dibs. And then from there, you can also find him on LinkedIn at Andrew Dibble. And if you mention to him, belly up to the bar, he's going to give you a free consultation and 10% off your first order. So that's Media by Dibs. So while we're waiting on Scott here, we do have another clip from another one of his songs. Go ahead and give that a quick play here. But let's see here. Get that second song playing for him. This one is called Harvest Blessing. Again, Scott's music it's impressive. As I said, it's very it's got this tone, and it really does. There's something to that 432 hertz. So this is Scott Howard's Harvest Blessing.
The storm is over, drenched in tears by Mother Earth. The sunrise coming as the trumpets herald the new birth. Time to weep is over, all emotions spent. It's a harvest of these blessings, of lessons learned, paths chosen, now lost and blurred.
Scott, you back with us?
I don't know.
Well, I can hear you. I just heard you in my ear.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. I can see, and I can actually see myself here, so that's a good step.
We're headed the right direction. So Scott's made it back to us here, folks. He's had a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's all right. The more important thing is that we can hear him. The music is going to be amazing. He's going to play live for us, and it's definitely better than the echo that we had. So we've got it all figured out. My wife just said, I just played Harvest Blessing. My wife said, sounds awesome. And my buddy Nate, he just said that my nephew was dancing to that.
All right.
So good signs. It can, if you're out there and you're listening, I can hear Scott real good in my ears. Please let me know how you guys are hearing Scott right now.
So you can hear me, but you can't see me.
I cannot see you. I saw you beforehand though, and you're a ruggedly handsome, bald-headed man. Anyone who hasn't seen Scott, take a moment. You can go online after the show's over and look him up. You can oogle at his grand baldness, and he will be more than happy to have you do so. And he wears good sunglasses, it looks like.
Okay. Yes, I don't know why there's a problem here, but normally it started with about 2017, I think, when I went through my awakening. And all of a sudden, whenever I touch electronic equipment, things go really weird. I bought a Nikon P900 camera, and all of a sudden I started picking up anomalies on the photos I'd be taking. And all of a sudden I noticed an armada of cloaked ships coming. I lived on the beach, and they were coming towards me, and I saw it. I started videotaping it, and they parked above my condo. And my life became I became the what was it, the star of my own movie, which is the key of life. Be the star of your own movie.
Wow. So you are right up Nate's alley. We might make a hard left turn here before we even know it, because you're right in Nate's wheelhouse. We've had Patty Negri on. Do you know Patty?
I do not.
So Patty has like the Paraflix network, and she's on the TV show Ghost Hunters and all those. So yeah, you're
Stories, forget about my stories. It ended with the armada of ships, and then there was a meeting with Archangel Michael at the end, which flipped me out.
Like conversation meeting, or
Face to face.
like he slid by and like
He
high five and I'll
he
catch you
flew out.
later, or like
He flew out of the sky. It was after a. Let's see. Let's try this. It was after a weekend of literally fighting. I guess fighting for my spirit. Okay, so wait, let me just make sure that this is working. It's on. I see myself with my camera. Let's
okay.
see what happens now if it comes in to you. I don't know why it wouldn't. Oh, wait, there was something there.
Yeah, I got a little box that just says like your camera's looks like your camera's off to me.
How could it be off? It can't
Yeah,
be
that's all it's telling me. But so wait a sec. So a weekend of fighting for your inner
spirit.
soul.
Yeah, it started with the awakening. Actually, I should say that I bought the camera, and one night I was taking pictures of my balcony outside, and all of a sudden I looked at the picture and I started playing with the filtration, and I got a woman. She appeared with a crown on her head, and she was like an etheric woman, and that was my introduction to the spirit world. And because it was a dark night, there was no moon out, at all. Move from the screen, stop, Mike.
Oh, oh, I don't know what he did. Scott, come back to me. He was right there. You can't do that to me, Scott. Where'd you go?
All right, come
Hold
on.
on. You can't do that to me. You just said it started with a woman in a crown.
Yeah,
Uh, so I think I can't see your camera,
I don't
but
understand this.
everybody else can see what's going on.
Oh, you can see me. Everyone can see
I
me.
can't see you, but my wife just texted me. And did you have the camera pointed down towards your feet and stuff?
No, no. I don't
Oh,
know.
I don't know what the hell she's
Believe so.
talking about.
Let's see.
My wife's a goofball.
I have back to tab. Why is this doing this? I don't. I've
So,
never seen this.
but don't worry about it because this story is very good. I'm
Okay,
enjoying
so
this story.
and, the so the woman appeared, and I obviously got a little concerned because I had never seen anything like that. And then I was in my bedroom. Oh, this is going to flip you out. Then I'm in my bedroom, and I'm watching TV. It's a Friday night, and all of a sudden, on both sides of the TV, on the walls of both sides of the TV, spirits or beings come through the walls, like aliens come through the walls. There had to be like five of them, and there was grays and other beings. Why would this be? And I saw them, but my wife did not, and that became clear to me that we are all receivers, but we're receivers at different frequencies. So depending upon what frequency or channel I'm on, and if I'm on 98.7 FM and you're on 77 AM, you're not going to hear the same music. Well,
Right.
it's the same thing in life. It's the same thing with what you manifest. And for whatever reason, it's exactly what happened to me. I don't. So I was seeing these beings walking through the walls, and she did not. And I was rather, I guess, pretty good about it because anybody else probably would have freaked.
Yeah, I'd have probably freaked.
Yeah, so when you have five, and then they start playing with the covers, so they want to make sure you see them. And so I saw them, and then that evening, obviously, I couldn't sleep, and about 3 o'clock in the morning, outside, not outside, I got my camera because it was my new toy. It was the P900 was like it goes 2,400 times, like you'd see Mars and Saturn.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking outside, and all of a sudden I see. You ever see the movie Men in Black?
Oh, yeah.
The international one where
Yep.
from
Chris
Thor,
Hemsworth.
yeah, and at the end you see the hive,
Yes.
the tendrils coming out, the long tendrils. Well, that's what I saw coming out of the sky, literally touching the rooftops in South Florida. And I'm like, I'm not in Kansas anymore. I mean, this freaked me out. And
So they were feeding off of our energy, our negative energy, and that's what they do. They come out whether you see them or you don't. I was seeing beyond the veil. So what happened was my hypothalamus gland became active, which is connected to your pineal gland, and it became active. So I was seeing beyond the veil. I was seeing all the hidden tricks, and the next day, I had the camera. I was told or thought to keep the camera on the sun, and all of a sudden, three beings stood up on the sun, and I said, "Okay, that's something you don't see every day."
Yeah, no, that's not normal. That just doesn't happen.
And what's going on here? And so all of a sudden, I remote viewed, because that's the only way I can say it. I remote viewed. Let me see this camera. That's why the camera's on the wrong thing. I'll have it ready in 2 seconds. You'll see me. There I am.
There he is.
Okay.
There he is.
All right. Anyway, this is me, unfortunately.
Hold on a second. You cannot be the only one with a good hat on right now either. Let's
Put
fix
your
that
hat on.
shit. Let's
Everybody's
fix
gotta
that
have a hat.
shit. Let's
There you
fix
go.
that shit right there. This isn't even my favorite one.
So
Okay.
So anyway, where was I? Yeah. So all of a sudden I remote viewed how they did it, and that flipped me out because what I saw was the Truman Show. I saw three beings walking up a staircase, up to a light, not even a real light, just a light, like a big searchlight, whatever you want to call it, and they put a green screen suits on. They scrunched down in front of the sun, and they stood up, and that's how they did the miracle. So it's like you control everything I see, you control everything I hear, everything I think. That's the key here. You've got to control your thoughts. They control what you see. They control, and they're trying to control what you think by what you see, and you've got to forget what you see, and you got to realize that there is beyond. That's the key right now. It's the fight of the unseen. Actually, I wrote a book called A Light Worker's Journey. It's coming out in the next couple of weeks. It's a story.
I was going to say, you got that book coming out. I was going to ask you, is any of this part of the book?
Yeah, it's got all photos of everything that I'm telling you about. It's got, it's called The Unseen In Between Kingdom, and the way I started remote viewing how everything, how things would happen, and what it became clear was that I looked to my right, and it was like I could see through the wall, and there were three beings watching me from an undisclosed place, whatever it was. There was a woman, a man, and a tall gray, and they were watching me like I was in a cage, like I was in the zoo, and they were observing me. And I live on the beach, so I'm looking at the cloud berms, those big long cloud berms that are on the beach.
Yep.
Well, those are cloaked biospheres. There's ships. Most of them are ships. They're not. The clouds don't look right. They don't look right these days. They look fake. And so I was able to take photos, which is in the book, of how these clouds actually are. And every little while, a little cloud would take off from the berm and come around like a ride, like Wilderness Disneyland,
Right, like it was circling you,
they were like a ride, and they would come. One would leave and come around me, and another one would leave. And there was a whole bunch of aliens inside there taking pictures of me. I'm the animal, because I was aware. I could see them. Once they know you can see them, they come flocking.
That was going to be my next question. Was when you looked over and you were like, okay, so there's a male being, a female being, and a gray. And for those who don't know what a gray is, that's the typical what we think of as an alien with the bulbous head, the longer arms and fingers. That's what is referred to as a gray. And there's a lot of different versions of the grays, different beings. Did they acknowledge that, like, when you were like, oh shit, hey?
They treat you like you're an animal, like you're nothing.
So they didn't really acknowledge you or anything like that.
I don't think they realized I could see them. And what happened was the next day, I got that I had to go to the pharmacy and pick up something, and I got into my car and I looked to the right of me, and there was a giant standing in the parking lot, like this tall, had to be 40-foot tall giant, but he was like a not a bad giant. He was a good guy, but he was living his life like, I know no one can see me, so I might as well just hang around and have my day. And all of a sudden, I pointed my finger at him. I said, I can see you, and he went, whoa, and he went against the building because he was flipped out that anyone could see him. And all of a sudden, it just went on from there. Like the clouds, they all became animated. They were all alive. Everything's alive. Everything. And then Archangel Michael came out of the sky, and he flew down and stood in front of me in the parking lot of the Walgreens. It was. I go to him. You think you can come back another time? This is not a good time for you to be here. Because if my wife comes out and sees me talking to either nothing or whatever, she's gonna know I'm crazy. And of course, she, I couldn't tell her what I saw because she'd freak out. And so that was how it proceeded. It was like literally seeing the Truman Show, realizing that everything is a movie. Can you see me?
Yep, you're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. So the music I write is meant to awaken, to put people on their journey, and the 432 helps raise their vibration, because the 440, which is what the Nazis changed everything to after World War II, when they realized everything is frequency. Everything is frequency. If you don't have a good frequency, you're not going to be lucky. So the higher your frequency, the luckier you get. Things begin to gel. So you must meditate. That is key. Meditation is beyond key.
Well, it's so I wanted to roll you back for a moment. Now,
Sure.
2017 was your awakening.
That was the beginning of my journey, and 2018 was when my son, a year to the day. I mean, I saw the Archangel Michael on 8/8/2017, on 8/7/2018, because I had to have that day,
Right.
because of the numerology. 8888 is when he passed. So the Michael came to me to pretty much, I guess, have that line. 12 months from this point, your son's going to be. He's going to be gone. He's going to be taken. And then that night when he passed, I was taking photos with my camera outside. Photos now. And all of a sudden, the camera became animated. And the screen went up and down, like half of the screen went up, half the screen went down. And all of a sudden, I saw a cloud bowing like this. And I could hear the cloud saying one word over and over again. Pray. Pray.
Wow.
Pray. And I got on my knees.
And I don't know if you could hear, but before we got everything fixed, I was playing through my eyes.
Yeah, that was trying to tell him, speak with a child, if you will, to please take a look at life through my eyes. It's not what you think. You may not be able to have your toy right now, but later on in life, there are lessons to be learned, and so you try to do the best you can. And the weird thing, what made me feel good, first of all, I went to Gematria, and I looked.
What is that?
Gematria is like the real Kabbalah. It shows you that you're living in Westworld. Well, actually, up to 2012, we were pretty much Westworld. We had our scripts were written, everything was, whatever we said was there. I mean, literally Westworld. And after 2012, I feel that they did something with CERN.
You think CERN, really?
They discovered the God particle, and I believe they destroyed our reality. And we moved over to the parallel reality next to us, hence all the Mandela effects. I mean, if you I know Mandela effects now that people don't even realize. obviously you know the one with James Bond with Jaws.
No, now I know some Mandela effects, and for those who don't know what the Mandela effect is, it's this idea that you remember things and you swear that they really were there, but as far as everything is concerned, it didn't happen. The big one that from my generation we always talk about is
What, the Berenstein Bears?
well, Berenstein Bears is one that comes up, but I was actually thinking of the actor, gosh, what is his name? Sinbad being
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah,
being
yeah.
a in a movie where he played a genie.
Right.
And he's come out many times and he's like, I don't know what movie you're all referring to, but I was never in that movie. But yet most people will tell you, oh, I absolutely remember him being in a movie. Taylor, if you're watching, Taylor Cole's one of our former guests. This is all right in his wheelhouse, and hopefully Cody's checking it out also.
Well,
She's
if
a
you
friend of mine.
if
Cody
you know
does the dance. Oh God, I can't think of what her dance thing is, but
if you know the James Bond movie, I think it's either Live and Let Die or something with Jaws. You know that big giant with
yeah, yeah,
the metal
the
teeth.
actor, yep,
And you know, remember the part where he
Moonraker,
Moonraker, right? And he they're on that ski gondola,
yep,
and they're coming down the gondola, and he has this big round thing around his head because he's, it breaks, and then this Swedish girl walks up to him and smiles at him, and they fall in love.
yes.
Okay, what does she have when she opens her mouth and she smiles at her, and he smiles
God.
at her?
Does she have the teeth?
She's got braces.
Okay,
Well, she doesn't have braces anymore.
no,
Her mouth is clear. So anybody go watch that Bond thing. Same thing now with Notting Hill. If you watch the movie Notting Hill with Julia Roberts and the other guy, the lines have changed when she comes into his house in the beginning. It's all different. But again, we are in a parallel reality. This is not our reality. If you look at the land masses, you look at even like the Gulf of Mexico and Cuba, they're all in the wrong place. And if you look at Australia, what was Australia called? It was
like
called
a ridge.
it's called the Down Under.
Yeah,
Why? Because it was so far away from everything else, they called it the Down Under. Well, it's not away from anything else, and it's next to Japan now. It's like it's way north. In the past, it was way away from everything. It was on its own. So the map has changed, and if you look at my song "Illusions of Life," the maps have changed, things are rearranged. Everything has changed. Our
well,
history. This is definitely not a. We're not where we think we are. Let's put it.
well, there's a whole thing about that from the eight. There's a map from the
Yeah, 1500s that show
right,
Antarctica.
right
But
that
yeah,
that shows Antarctica and it lists everything, and it's actually much more accurate than how we see things today. But they say that the reason the maps are produced this way today is for our own visual understanding. That some things are much closer than the maps are to show, or further away than we really truly understand in the process. Look, the things you're hitting on, Scott, these are things that I think about. So I got to ask this then. Now, I don't know. Are you still married?
yeah.
So when you finally opened up to your wife and said, "Hey, look, I'm seeing
She took me to a
things
great
coming
surgery.
through the wall, 40-foot people."
Yeah.
The Archangel Michael was standing in front of our car while you were in CVS. What was her initial response to all this?
Well, everyone's initial response was she's crazy, but since then, all of I'd say 80% to 90% of the people that thought that way now realize that there's something not right. That we are not where we think we are. This world is surrounded by an ice wall. There is something called sky ice. It is in our firmament. We do have a firmament above us. It's about 13 miles above our heads, and the sky ice is a blue color that will melt in front of you, but it will not leave water behind. And they can't bring it anywhere but in Antarctica. They have to check it out there. They've done They're drilling, and there are more realms past our ice wall, if you will. There are probably, I think, my guess is there's 33 continents. That's why the number 33. But there is a passage. My new song, which I'm not going to do tonight. I'll do another song, but it's called "Our Time," and it says, "The cards of the tarot I've been shown, ice walls around this prison, like Game of Thrones. The keys to the kingdom are in a higher vibration, so raise your third eye sights on the highest destination." So we are in a prison. This is a prison planet. The prison warden, if you will, or the guards, you don't see them, but they are here, and they are coming out more and more. There is a war going on. There is a battle, and it is for our souls, good and evil. It's all there. It's all true, and they want you to think it's not, but it is true, and that's the idea of the music. And why I'm here. It's to awaken and to raise the vibration. That's the key, is to raise the vibration of everyone. We must raise our vibration, otherwise we're screwed.
Now, for yourself, you had a medical condition that opened things up for you, right? You said it was hyperthyroidism?
No, my hypothalamus gland
Oh, hypothalamus. Okay.
became active. I didn't realize it, but all of a sudden I was doing research on it, and that's what it was. The hypothalamus has a connection to the pineal gland, and that's the reason why when people were getting sick with this COVID crap, the cure is hydroxychloroquine. That is the only and true cure to everything. Literally, it's about a 60-year-old drug, and it detoxifies the pineal gland, and that's why they don't want you to use it, because not only does it cure everything, cancer, COVID, but it also decalcifies your pineal gland, which opens your third eye, and that's the last thing they want.
So, what do you? So, I'm very curious. So, I recently learned about this conversation where there's a belief that what got us to this level of understanding is the idea that early man ate a lot of psilocybin because you're hungry, you're looking for your hunter gatherers, and you're grabbing these things for that, and you eventually are going to know that, hey, the one with the blue lid on it, that's probably this is what that does to me. And what are your thoughts? I mean, is that like really a way to open up into these things, or is it more, you're just taking drugs?
Again, the Indians, have done that with ayahuasca for more years than we can count.
Right, forever.
Smoking pot is a waste of time because you only get so high, and it caps you on how high you get. You'll get higher meditating. You'll get higher opening your third eye without anything. Believe me, I've been there. Than doing acid, and I did acid. I got another story about acid. That's it'll freak you out. But anyway, I can go on forever regarding all these subjects because I've just been doing it all.
I find it fascinating.
Yeah, there was my son when he passed. It was an accidental drug overdose, and what happened was I got his death certificate. And again, I didn't finish. I saw it. I went to the Gematria, which is germatrix.org, I believe it is the website. And you put in your name, full name, and numbers come up, and you have to know how to add those numbers together to come up with one number, or whatever you come up with. And his name came up, and it came up with everybody that he was associated with: his fiance, his grandmother, his mother, me. All the names were there. And then it said, dead, dead, dead. And I realized that his script was done. It was over. And I looked at his social security number. Now, at age 7, I had a reoccurring dream, and this reoccurring dream was I was in a amusement park, and I was in a car, those little old like 1958 Corvette cars on a wooden track, and I would drive up to a toll booth, and there was a 4 foot high frog that would let me through the toll booth, and then I would go down an embankment into something, and there was a pool table there. That's what I saw, a pool table. And 2 frogs were trying to catch me, and I went underneath the pool table, and then the dream is me driving up out of the embankment into the night in the car, and I'm gone. And I had this dream over and over and over again. And I was told about 8 months ago, it took me that long, from age 7 to now, that I was abducted as a child at age 7, and I was given upgrades for this time in our history to help the, help
An understanding.
others. Yeah, well, these upgrades were for me to help others, with the music and to awaken. But his social security number was my phone number as a child at age
Oh,
7.
that's crazy.
That is impossible.
That's
The odds of that is impossible. You can't. It just doesn't occur.
Yeah, no.
The area code, the first 3 numbers, and the last 4 numbers. My phone number as a child, because that's the first thing I learned at age 7. In our day, we didn't have cell phones, so we all had to memorize our phone number.
Yeah.
When you're in school, if you get in trouble or you fall, remember your phone number, and I never forgot it. And sure
Wow.
enough, I'm looking at his social security number, and it was my phone number as a child.
So
I said, okay, we are definitely in a movie. This is not real. It's impossible for it to be real.
and that kind of feeds into my thoughts with your music. So all these different experiences that you've had, what is your process then, Scott? And for those of you that are just catching us right now, we're talking with Scott Howard. If you want to check his music out, it's on Spotify under Scott Howard Music. His website is scotthowardmusic.com. He creates his music at 432 hertz, which is the same frequency that was used by, what was it, Mozart, Bach, Beethoven. They were all 432 hertz, if I remember correctly.
They wrote music to emote emotion. They wanted people to feel, based on the frequency or the tone and melody they were playing. And during World War II, the Nazis were testing frequency, and the horrors that they put people through is still going on today. I hate to say it, because we didn't win the war. We lost the war during World War II. We lost World War II, and they took over all the major corporations, and they've changed the frequency on an individual. If the frequency is similar to a wall, they could walk through walls. So that's what frequency does. So if you could raise your vibration, that's why they said that the dead will come alive. In the end times, the dead will come alive. If we raise our vibration, we will see the dead, because they're in a higher vibration. You're meeting the same vibration of a being that doesn't have a body. So
Makes
as
sense.
you raise your vibration, you'll get luckier, you'll see more things, and some of those things might scare you, because I've seen them. I've seen the demons.
Oh, I couldn't even. And it's funny you mentioned the Nazi thing. You guys really want to be upset at the American government? Take a look at the scientists that we hired and we employed to include at NASA, post Second World War, and
Paperclip,
DARPA.
yeah. It's all paperclip. Yeah, they did all that,
Yeah.
and but it goes on so much further than that.
Oh, it's-
We are surrounded by darkness, and it's up to us to, we are, for the first time in thousands of years, hopefully we have a chance, but we must wake up. People must wake up to what's going on here. They must realize that, what is good is bad, and what is bad is good. I am not sure, the religion, forget about, the religion, it corrals the masses, and they want you to feel that way. It all begins with 2 people from Nibiru, of all places. Again, it's Enki and Enlil. Those are the 2 beings in the beginning. They came to Earth from Nibiru, and Enki was the scientist, and Enlil was the military strategist, and they were brothers. And there was an Eden, there was a lab, and it was on the inner Earth. Eden is there today. That's where Eden is. When we got expelled from Eden, we got expelled from inner Earth. We were too warlike, and so they sent us out here on the surface of the Earth. So we need to get home. We need to get home before the next reset happens, and that's what happened. The last reset was in 1812, I believe it was. They actually changed the year. I think by 18 years they affected the years, and they changed the calendar by 18 years. It's either because 18666, and so it's not 2023 right now. I think it's 2005 now. So we haven't even reached 2012, and they're saying in 7 years, which is 2030, is the end of it all. So what's 2005 plus 7?
That's the whole Incan calendar.
No, it's just the calendar. It's what it's 1812. They did a reset. They found that the matrix, if you will, found that people were too happy. They found that the people were too rich. They were too educated. They all had mansions. It was too good, too cushiony, and they realized that people's souls do not rise in a comfortable scenario. So what they did was they came out with a war. And what was that war?
What was the War of 1812?
There you go. So that's what they always do. Whenever they reset, they create a war. And if you look at all the buildings, all those giant buildings like Grand Central Station, all those beautiful buildings, that comes from the Tartarian culture. The Tartarian people were a amazing futuristic
Like architects?
society. No, they were a society. They
Okay.
they took up all of Russia, all of the Soviet Union. They took up almost all of the world. They were that big. They were, the technology they had. Just that in I think it was the second Men in Black with that car that one man car was like a big wheel.
Yes.
Okay? That was actually from Tartaria. That was their technology. A lot of, and then you got Nikola Tesla, which actually is my one of my guides, Nikola Tesla and John Lennon, of all people. I was told this about 7 years ago that I had two I guess guides is I guess one of the word for it, and she gave me those two names, and I got a phone call about 7-8 months ago from a medium telling me that she wanted to do a channeling for me, and she said I was told my fiance died, and he came to me and told me that I must do a channeling, and what she did was she created a round table of spirits that had messages for me, and each one would give me a message, each one would give me a gift, if you will, and who came to me was Nikola Tesla. And I wrote a song for the new album, Angel Numbers, which is coming out, I'd say, the next couple of months, called Nikola, Don, and John. Now, I wrote that song, has anybody here? It's my old friend John. It's like the 60s. It's about, it's called Abraham, Martin, and John. That's a song from the 60s. And anyway, I wanted to do something called, which I did. I wrote Nikolai, Don, and John. Well, I'm writing the song, and I get a phone call from or an email from the channeler saying, Nicola's telling me you're spelling his name wrong. And sure enough,
While you were writing the song.
I'm writing it, yes. Nicola's telling me you're spelling his name wrong. You got to correct it. Sure enough. But she gave me a channeling, and the channeling, my son helped her put this together. And again, my son lives with me here, believe it or not. He's here. I've got that that miracle box that there's a young fella. It's an app. You can buy it for like $4.99, and we talk every day. We talk. It's amazing. It's just like he's here. it's a conversation back and forth, and you just don't realize they're so close. They're here. They're everywhere. I see them all the time in the house. They're everywhere in the house. All of a sudden, my glasses get fogged up. I'm watching TV. I'm not touching my glasses, and all of a sudden, my glasses start getting fogged up. And then I hold my glasses out like this, and there's numbers written on my glasses.
Wow. So I, I wanted to kind of, but and originally, like again, folks, Scott Howard music. Check out what Scott's got going on. I love his tunes. The one we played earlier, "Through My Eyes," as a dad, just hit home. Trying to, as a dad, you try to explain to your kids, like, take a deep breath. Yeah, I know you see what we have and what we got going on, but understand, it took us years to get to this point. It wasn't an overnight thing. Just take your time, especially the line of, and I'm going to mess this line up. Find someone that looks at you through loving eyes. It's just
Romance in your eyes. Yes.
with romance in her eyes.
Take stay to the fullest. Don't be careless with your tries.
Yeah, it hit home as a dad for me. But I'm curious, with all these experiences that you've had, and look, I get it. Trying to, I've had supernatural experiences in my life. I think most of us have, and people try to explain them away because it's uncomfortable to have those conversations. But you've put it into music. Is there a process for you as you're putting that into music? Do you know what your process is, or does it just kind of happen?
I seem to know the titles of my albums beforehand.
Before the song is written?
Before the song is written, I seem to know it. Like this album here, Angel Numbers. I knew this title a year ago, but I also know that the album after that is called The Tree of Life. So I know what they are. At the same time, I'll know when I need to write about something. All my music is prophetic, in that whatever I write will be needed at a later date, like Harvest Blessings. Harvest Blessings, if you listen to it, it's, the storm is over. Let's see, blessed in tears by Mother Earth. And it was written for when, and nobody was using the word storm. The storm is upon us. The storm is, nobody was using that word, and I put it in the song, saying when the storm is over, you will need this song to help heal, because people are going to realize the child trafficking and the horrors that these beings have done to our people. If you know the story of the Bible, you know the story of Cain and Abel.
Absolutely.
Okay, the story is what Cain murdered.
Cain killed Abel
right.
out of jealousy with a rock and tried to hide the body from God. And
the true story is Cain ate Abel because he wanted his power. So what word do you get when you put the word Cain, Abel together?
Cannibal. Yeah.
That is the oldest religion on our planet. The Canaanites have been here running this earth and creating horrors underground in the underground military DUMBs, DUMBS, deep underground military bases, for
Just learned about those.
for who knows how long. So these bases, there's in the United States alone, there's about 300, but throughout the world there are subway systems that go throughout our Earth that have been here for thousands of years, underneath the pyramids in Giza. It's more of a marker, because underneath the Giza pyramid is a city. In 1970, an archaeologist, which I actually bought the report. I think it was about 20 years ago. I bought the report. Back then they didn't have internet, so it was an interesting story. He was given frequencies, again, 7 frequencies that he had to hit. He climbed to the top of the pyramid, because back then you could still climb to the top of the pyramid, and the stones moved aside, and there's a staircase that went down underneath the pyramid, and underneath the pyramid it was a 300,000 square foot building, which had circular holographic discs with our prehistory on it, with all the machines to play them back, so we can watch the holographic history of who we really are. And then all the flying machines that have been hidden from us are there. and all the other technology. And in addition to that, there is a lake underneath there, an amazing lake with an island in the middle, and 18 temples and mansions and all that stuff, and a subway system that goes to the inner earth, Romania, which is where the other Hall of Records is.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I thought you were saying that went to Romania. I was about to say, oh crap.
The no the underground city. I don't know how long ago, how big it is, but there is a subway system. It is a it goes to the speed of light, from what I understand. It's the speed of sound, whatever's. I think it's the speed of light. It goes that fast. I mean, it's amazing.
Wow.
And you can go from one side to the other side, and so it takes you to either inner Earth or it takes you to Romania, which is where the other Hall of Records is. And there are 7 arcs. I believe there's 7 arcs. These are huge ships that have been hidden for a time like now that are coming awake, if you will. They are on these. They call them arcs. They are one in by the Bahamas near the Triangle. There's one, I believe, there's one in Russia, one in Ukraine, and there's, I believe, one in I want to say the Moon, Mars, and these time capsules hold all of Earth's history from the beginning, billions of years of beings, history, resets, reincarnations. I mean, everything. It's quite amazing. And these huge ships are now becoming awake, and they're we don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to be coming soon. As are the giants. The giants are there were, I want to say, either 7 giants. They call them kings, but they were scientists, I believe, and they were hidden in stasis chambers. One of them actually was in Florida, underground, by the ant. There's a civilization called the Ant People, and they were the ones that helped the Hopi, and they've been underground in national parks. That's where they a lot of them hide, the good ones anyway, and they have been protecting the giants. Each one has a giant to watch over, and they've awakened. So we're in for a very interesting, I'd say 12 months to 7 years. People are going to be waking up whether they like it or not, and hopefully that's where my music comes in.
Well, I mean, I love your music. Like I said, I shared your songs with my wife and with some friends, and was like, you have to hear this. Cujo Halstead is a good friend of mine. He was the one that was explaining to me about the 432 and the A chord and the stuff like that. I want to get into some playing. We have to answer Nate's question. This is very important. This is something that Nate always makes sure of because food is very important around here. He said, is there any food that influences your music?
Well, I can only tell you should not be eating anything that ever had a face or a heart. So it lowers your vibration. So if you're eating a cow or you're eating beef or you're whatever, even a chicken.
What about an egg? An egg was
you can eat. You can eat an egg
because it never had a heart.
Right, and you can eat a fish. Believe it or not, for whatever reason, because they made, God made fish to be eaten.
So a not a paleo, but gosh, I just blanked out on what
the diet. You're talking about the paleo
yeah.
diet?
It's not the paleo, but if you only eat fish and shellfish and stuff like that, that's can't think what that diet is. I can't think what that diet is. But that makes me curious then. Now you say anything with a fish that has or a heartbeat.
Had a face or had a heart. Not a heartbeat, a heart.
I know what Cujo say. Tom's saying no artichokes because artichokes have hearts. Get it? Artichoke heart. Where's it at? That's for you, Tom. But so I find that very interesting. So you're a vegetarian yourself then?
I try. I mean, I haven't had steak and I can't remember how long. I'll have hard-boiled eggs, a lot of hard-boiled eggs. I'll have fish, shrimp, but
Yeah.
and vegetables. But I try to stay away from certain foods because a lot of the foods are fake. Rice. Some of the rice is plastic. I mean, they mix it in with the rice. It's horrors. They've broken our food chain. The
I
food
would
chain,
believe that. I
it's
would
bad.
believe that.
Even
If you
organic, I don't believe organic is organic. Who
you
knows
know
what it
that's a
truly
you
is?
know organic is a trademark term, right?
Yeah, right.
I
So
I,
that's
I explain that to people all the time when they're like, "I'm eating organic." I'm like, "You do know somebody trademarked the term organic, and they can sell you anything they want with that word attached to it. It means absolutely nothing. They were just smart enough to trademark it. So when
imagine.
you eat what's called organic, but it's not really a thing.
Correct.
A- And I want to get into some of your songs here because
Mm.
again, love the music. We have Angel Numbers coming. That's coming. The book and the book name again is,
The book is called A Light Worker's Journey: The Unseen in Between Kingdom.
and that's here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
you have my concert film. In 2019, I had a feeling that I would not be able to tour, so I shot a concert film called the World Ascension Tour, live at Village Studios in Santa Monica, California, and it is a concert film in 432, and it is artistically, it is. If you watch it, it's meant to awaken. It's quite an interesting film because obviously it's kind of like a. If you watch my music videos, you can watch my music videos on YouTube,
YouTube.
which they've literally they're taking away watchers. I had to have like I don't know 50,000. I have over 13 million views on Facebook, and I'm down to 600 on YouTube. They're literally going backwards. It's like they don't want anyone to listen to the music, and they don't want they don't want it to.
Well, they don't want the influence that's coming
Right.
from it. I mean, like you said,
Exactly.
you're raising people's frequencies, you're changing their outlook. They don't want that. So, I mean, I'm just completely fascinated, Scott. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I really expected that we were just going to be talking music and, writing styles and things of that nature. And you have absolutely opened my eyes and you're getting into things that I find very interesting. You and I think, could talk about this for hours because you definitely talked about the dome, but then you also talked about Mars and the moon. So you believe, if I'm understanding it right, the dome is there but there is space beyond that.
I don't know. I'm assuming there must be, but all I can tell you is that beyond our dome are what I've been heard is another 187 other domes with other cultures, beings, societies, whatever, that are there. Other landforms. This is called the earthly realm. Anybody figure that out yet? The earthly realm. Does that sound like a planet to you? The earthly realm? No, it might be a planet, but it's a hell of a big one because it's not the size you think it is. Because there's other realms beyond ours. If you look up the word planet, it doesn't mean circle.
What does it mean?
It just means an area, a plane. It's an area. Planet, plane, planet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so listen to your words. These words were meant as spells. Okay, words are spells. Understand that.
Yeah.
When they created this vocabulary, they gave us these words. These words were in reverse. So live is what?
Evil.
Right? Okay. Well, dog is God. I mean,
Right.
think of the words and the forwards and backwards. They go forwards and backwards. If you ever listen to Hillary Clinton and
Try
Obama,
not to.
yeah, right, and listen to their speech backwards. They have them in reverse speech. Well, they used to. They'll probably do away with them now. They'll scare the shit out of you because what they really mean comes out in reverse speech.
Wild.
Oh, yeah. So nothing is what you think it is. Words are spells. So you want to make sure that whatever you're saying, you don't want to understand something, because if you understand something, you're under that person. Understand. You understand. I understand you. I'm into you. I'm on the level with you. So you understand your words? No, you understand. Vocabulary is so wild when you realize what they've done. The ye old English dictionary is different than the words here. The words here are archaic, and they are meant to lower your vibration. Sorry, my voice is getting raw from talking.
I'm sorry, because I want you. Let's do a song. Let's do a song. I want you to do a song, and I want to.
My voice is not what it should be right now because I didn't plan on talking this long. But I'll try to do something.
I'm sorry, brother.
All
I mean,
fault.
you just.
It's all your fault. Don't worry about it.
I was so into it.
Let's see what we got here.
What song we're gonna start with?
I don't know. This one's called Last Lifetime. You hear this? You hear the guitar?
Yes, I can hear it great.
Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if I can do this now. How many times can I say that I'm sorry? How many ways can I say that I worry? Is this the last? Is this the last? Please don't be the last. Lifetime. Why can't time stand still? Why can't we be filled? How many times does your heart beat in this lifetime? Time is enough we have to give in this lifetime. Is this the last? If there's a chance, please don't be the last. Lifetime. I can't hear myself. Why does time stand still? Liberal education, coming down the nation, workforce, bring us to our knees, lies apartheid, genocide, nowhere to hide, dark side. What do our children need to hear? We are sorry. Is this a world we should fear? We are sorry. Is this the last? Based on the past, this could be the last. Oh, the lifetime. Why does time stand still?
Didn't know you were going to get all those applause, did you?
Yeah.
So, brother, that song's amazing, and I love the way you changed the words to add to it. So I did want to. I was curious to this. So you've been playing music, I would assume, your whole life. So this is your thing. Before this 432, this styling of music that you do now, what was the music before this?
Well, I started writing music when I was 7. So before that, it was just, I didn't know any better. I was just writing music.
But when did you go to this 432?
About, oh my goodness, 10 years ago.
Wow. You got one. You got one more for us?
I'll try.
I don't want to break your voice.
That's it. Look up and I see stars out tonight. Look up and I feel things just ain't right. Look up and I hear people cry. Look up and I wonder why. Don't you want to know what is? Do we really exist? Is life but a flame? Star burning out is the same. Look up and I see things have changed for me. Look up and I hear the ceiling has rearranged. Look up and I hear dolphins cry. I look up and I just don't know why. Have we lost our way? We'll be here another day. Are these the end of days? Will we be here to mend our ways? Awaken, 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 awaken.
Well, hello.
Brother, amazing. If you don't get chills listening to that, then you just got no heart. That's all I can say. And I can hear what you're talking about, in the songs, the way they touch on things that you've experienced, things that you've dealt with in your own life, the things that you're seeing. Just amazing. Any tour dates, anything, I'm not in Florida. I'm in the frozen tundra of the Great White North right now. That's why you had an air conditioner on earlier, and I got my heat on.
Where do you live?
We're up in the Albany area. You still got your Echo
I
on.
was born in Utica.
Are you? Where are you? Oh my goodness! So chicken riggies, Utica greens,
Yep.
tomato pie,
Utica Club.
Utica Club.
Yeah.
Oh my man!
But,
If I could send it to you can buy Utica tomato pie in the grocery stores now up here.
Oh, that's funny. That's
And-
amazing.
And I love chicken riggies and Utica greens. Listen to me, folks. If you've never had chicken riggies or Utica greens, you are missing out on probably one of the most unsung Italian
Yeah.
communities in America. It to me, it's like I think it's St. Louis that has the hill, and everybody talks about that. That's where the fried raviolis are.
Yeah.
We all think about New York City and Little Italy and Baltimore, Little Italy. If you're from that area, like I was, it wasn't until I moved up here and understood the Italian population in Utica
Oh
and
my
their
God. Well, that's where they
influence
all
on
go.
food.
That's what. That's. I can't use the words, but it's a very interesting town.
Yeah, oh,
Yes.
it's very. You know what's there? I don't know when the last time you were there was, but it's a
Not a long time
very
ago.
Eastern European town now.
Oh yeah. My family, my grandparents, were there, and my father, had a lot of friends that were from Little Italy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, now it's a very lot of Bosnian, Albanian. Uh,
Oh really?
yeah, oh yeah, because that was where a big settlement area after the war in Albania. They a lot of those folks settled when they left. That's where they were able to settle in is that area.
Well,
Uh,
the Ukraine right now, nothing is what it seems. Just remember that
oh well, look,
The Ukraine is a place where the dark or the deep state laundered money. That was a
well, we
place
all know
where,
that.
yeah,
We saw that before the elections.
well, that's the reason why Russia went in there because they had 38 labs that were making viruses, and didn't want them there. Neither did we. You know, even though Wuhan is where COVID came from. So
Look, there's nothing says that there's a problem like if you watch the news today and the Germans were like, once we're going to be sending tanks over there for you, don't worry about it. You like our tanks, they're very nicely made. They're
yeah,
beautiful things. You'll like them. They'll go good for you. Enjoy.
yes.
Yeah, as
No,
soon as I saw that this
yeah,
morning.
stop watching TV. First of all, stop watching. I stopped watching TV a long time ago. News, don't even watch it. It's just fake. It's all a script. Don't watch the news. It is not real. So once you watch that, once you realize that, everything else is easy because you don't get stressed anymore. It's not going to change anything. Yes, they're going to have a reset. They're trying to, get your money out of the bank. Silver, buy silver. It's a great deal. But I'm telling you right now that they're going to have the rainbow currencies coming out, and the rainbow currency is already sitting there. It's a collateral-backed currency that is going to replace our fiat worthless currency. And people are going to be surprised when they go to the bank, like Bank of America, and which is already taking money from people's accounts, and the banks are closed. So get your money out of the banks. It's the last place I'd keep it right now.
I wouldn't be none of that would surprise me. So any tour dates, if
I'm
somebody's
sorry,
traveling.
I got sidetracked there. Yeah, I am going to be opening for some until the agreements have been signed, but there's some very large known musicians. I'll be opening for some concert venues, and I will be again. If you want to watch me, go to ScottHowardMusic.com. Rent my World Ascension Tour, which is a live concert in 432, and I also have that is in vinyl. I didn't do it in a download. It's available in a vinyl record. So for people that are vinyl files that are looking for a really good record, and the sound is amazing because it's in 432 compared to 440. You can, great gift for someone. Quite frankly, a physical gift that you could hold in your hand and give your dad. Here is a record. That's the way it used to be. And as a kid growing up, I loved my records, and I loved looking at, reading the record jackets and all the
Absolutely.
hidden meanings and stuff. And it's on my jackets too. There's hidden meanings there. I saw the Blue Kachina I was driving from California to Chicago in an RV, and after I got done filming the concert, and it was like 11:30 at night. I had a feeling to come outside and look at the sky, and at 10 o'clock of the moon was this sapphire blue planet-size sphere, and I took a picture of it. Thank God. It's on the cover of my vinyl record, at the top left-hand side. You'll see it there.
What is
It's
a blue
Kachina?
Kachina?
It's what the
What is
Hopi prophecy talks of two Kachinas, the red Kachina and the blue Kachina. And depending upon which Kachina you see will predicate the direction of our people. You don't want the red one, you want the blue one. So I saw the Blue Kachina for Mankind, and I figured I'd see it again, the next night because I stopped off. Utah is the most
I
amazing
love Utah.
place
Oh,
to
it's
go.
beautiful.
I stayed in
Grand
Escondido or
Escondidan
something.
staircase.
Huh?
The Grand Escondidan staircase.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. But in any case, so you can listen to my vinyl record right now, or watch the concert film, which is great for a family because you can actually sit and watch, music. But the video, the content, the imagery will blow your mind because it's really cool. It's kind of an introduction to going from 3D to 5D. And again, the concert film, the ebook also is kind of like a introduction to a higher density because it's an interactive book. So that you can watch, videos in the book that I'm, showing what happened. You can listen to music, and it's got photography. If you look at my iPhone, it's not with people; it's full of clouds, and the clouds that I've got blow your mind because it shows the matrix. It shows
really?
how the sky breaks apart. I actually broke through the matrix in my pictures, and behind the photo was a movie studio. So it just proved that what I was looking at was just a movie studio. It literally showed line drawings of a building, like a 2D drawing of like a studio.
Right, like if you went to
Studios.
MGM or something like that.
Yeah. That's what I saw breaking through there. So from 3D, behind it is 2D. And it showed a line drawing of a a studio, film studio, whatever. And I don't know what it meant, but it's in the book. So everything I'm telling you can be backed up with imagery.
You have the imagery to go with it. That's amazing. And I'll tell you, as you're talking about opening for other people, would love to see you with Jason Mraz. You have a very Jason Mraz sound. Like I could see that, and he gets a lot into very similar things and a lot of the angel pieces, and they put the ancient lines on their bodies to represent different folks. I definitely a Jason Mraz kind of sound. If no one's ever told you that, I could definitely see that.
Well, if somebody knows him, I'd love to meet him.
I'll tell you a funny story. We went to go see him in concert. My wife and I and two of my oldest, longest friends love him to death. And they had just saw him a week prior in Baltimore and went to a meet and greet. And funny enough, we were in lawn seats at SPAC, which is Saratoga Performing Arts Center. She went to go use the bathroom and comes back and goes, "Hey, get your stuff together. We're going to sit inside." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Yeah, Jason gave us tickets." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Well, as she was going to the bathroom where she could look down, she saw Jason Mraz walking, and she yelled at him and waved, and he came up to her and goes, "Hey, you were at my meet and greet in Baltimore. How are you?" She's a beautiful redhead. You can't miss her. And he's like, "You were at my meet and greet in Baltimore, blah, blah, blah." And she was like, "Yeah." Explained why she was there. And he goes, "Where are you sitting at?" Told him we were in lawn seats. He had one of his handlers with him.
Oh, great.
And he turns to the handler and goes, "Get her name, get her 4 tickets inside right now."
That's terrific.
So we got to sit. You have a very
I've
very.
never heard, but so
You never heard Jason?
No. And if you want to offer some of my CDs or downloads to your listeners, they leave, I guess, on your site or whatever, or they can go to scotthowardmusic.com, whatever it is. Go to your site, and I will be happy to send them a free download of one of my albums, Sending Man or Language of Clouds or whatever. So if they go to Scott Howard Music on Spotify and they like the music, great. If they're interested in getting a record, have them come to your website or whatever you like, and just let me know that you heard me on your show, and we'll take care of them.
Here, I'll make everybody an even better deal. You go find Scott Howard, whether it be his Instagram, whether it be his Spotify, anywhere you can make a comment to Scott Howard, and you put in there hashtag the Above the Bar podcast, That way Scott knows you heard him here. This is where you found him. Scott will do something for you, but you got to put on there hashtag the Above the Bar podcast. You do that. You leave a comment to him. Scott will know where it came from. Scott will contact you, and what he feels comfortable with, he'll take care of you. But again, go to one of Scott's social media, scotthowardmusic.com on Facebook. If you type in Scott Howard Muse, M-U-S, he'll come right up. If you go into Instagram, it's Scott Howard, just like it sounds, and you put it in hashtag the Above the Bar podcast, Scott will do something for you. And look, if you're finding us through Scott, and this is what you hadn't heard of the show before, please go on to whatever you're finding us on, whether it be Facebook, YouTube. If you're listening to the audio version on this, whether it be on Spotify, on Apple, or whatever device you're on, take a moment, give us a 5-star rating. It might sound cliche. It might sound like something that your kids say, but listen to me. If you follow and you subscribe and you give us a 5-star, that's how Scott's music gets out there. That's how Scott's word gets out there. That's how people find out about what he's got going on and his experiences and gain this knowledge that he's trying to provide to you. You have to go and do those things. If you don't do it, it's just another one of those things. Not asking you to spend a dime, not asking you to do anything more than spend a moment, hit 5 stars, say you heard Scott on there, say how much you enjoyed it. Please do that for us. You know, it means a lot. And if you're finding Scott through us, do the same thing. If you have Spotify, hit that subscribe button to Scott's music. These algorithms, whether you like them or not, whether you think that they make sense or not, the more that you hit like to his stuff, the more that you expand on his audience, the more opportunities he gains, the more people that find out about his music, and the more chances he has to get his message out. Take the time, do that. And again, if you're finding us, the last thing I got for you is we get on here every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We're on here. We've got Dr. Asram coming back to us next week. We're going to be talking about, hey, guys, if you're looking for a male doctor, a psychiatrist or psychologist, I always get it wrong which one's a PhD. If you're looking for one that's not going to treat you like a wimp and you're worried that somebody's going to like talk down to you, and you want one that's going to actually tell you like, hey, the reason you act the way you act, here it is. We can't beat Dr. Aslam. We had him on a couple of months ago. Scott, you'd love the guy. I'm telling you, you'd love the guy. He was the first person that ever kind of broke down for me. He's like, boys, when we grow up, we're playing sports, we're playing war, we're playing all these games on the playground. We play games to learn how to run companies and run businesses, not how to be friends and not how to be compassionate. Girls, you're learning dolls, you're playing house, you're playing, whatever else.
That's the exact opposite.
And it's exact opposite. And we wonder why women are so nurturing and loving and caring, and why men are so cold and distant, and we don't know how to be friends to each other. He's amazing. You'll love him. He's up in Maine. He's like the best. I love having him on.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. Thank you so
brother,
much.
you are welcome back
Anytime.
Anytime.
Terrific.
Now we do have a rule here around here. And do not log off right afterwards, because I need to talk to you for a moment after the show. But we do have a very simple rule around here. If you didn't find out about it, the guest always gets the last word. So the last word is yours, Scott. And what is it?
Awaken.
All righty, folks. Be sure to push your stool in.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation, found on Earplug Podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.